What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Saturday. No, December 6th, 2025, and we are back with another weekly recap here on the Torian Rain Reloaded channel. If you have not done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you are new. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button, hit the bell twice to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live. If for any reason you do not receive the notifications, you can simply join the Discord and you should receive it in there. Shout out to all the people in the chat, all the mods, all the members, and everybody on Patreon. And speaking of the members, I finally found things that I can post in my members only stuff because I feel like I've been depriving y'all. So basically, because I'm trying to make sure to get my niche in order with what I talk about on my channel, things that I decide to want to talk about, but doesn't align with what my channel is really about, which y'all pretty much already know is going to go on there. So as a matter of fact, you're going to get an example of that today at 5 p.m. So if you are a member of the channel, you will be receiving a video from me on there at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I actually have about 4 of them already lined up. One of them I actually recorded maybe about an hour ago on something that just happened. But like I said, because it doesn't align with what my channel is really about, but it's something I still wanted to talk about, I'm putting it under members only. So y'all will be getting that video today. And also, by the way, one of the other videos that's going to probably go up between maybe Tuesday is actually going to be a triple P on someone that I have not done a triple P on yet, but it's someone I have talked about on the channel. But you'll find that out. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, you have to be a member of the channel. But let me go ahead and acknowledge the people who are here so far in the chat. We got Dimple Face, we got Firebat, we got Hurricane Nisi, Emmanuel, we got Wallow J, and Dark Titan. It says it's like that's crazy. It's only a little bit of y'all typing in the chat right now, but it says it's 29 people watching. Shout out to the 29 people that are indeed watching. I hope that each and every one of y'all had a good week. We are literally counting down until 2026. We are almost there. But shout out to those who are here so far in the chat. And if you aren't here for any reason, then you can go ahead and catch the replay. But we're not going to waste any time because we got quite a few things that we have to go over and discuss today. So I'm going to just go ahead and jump right into it. Let me see. Let me go ahead and share my screen right quick. Now, this right here, I'm sure many of you already know about, but like I said, because the last Saturday of the month, I always do the Sound Off Saturday. I don't get an opportunity to talk about things that happened that particular week because that's not a weekly recap day. So I sometimes will go back and pull something from last week to talk about this week. And this one right here, I definitely want to talk about because I give that Twitter platform a lot of flack for things nowadays. But this one, I'm actually glad that they actually implemented. So for those of y'all who don't know, or maybe not on Twitter, they implemented this feature, like this location feature, where you can see where people originate from as far as their pages. Like you can click on there, like their join date, and it'll pull up where their account was created at, when it was created. If they changed their username over time, it'll tell you how many changes they've made since they've created it, when's the last time they changed, and all that good stuff. Well, it turns out that a lot of these individuals who are quote unquote MAGA influencers, their accounts were created in other continents. And I'm talking about overseas. I'm talking about outside of the continent of North America. I've seen some Indias. I've seen some Nigerias. I've seen some Canadas, Asia. Like I've seen it all for the most part. So a lot of these individuals who claim to be America first aren't even in America. And also, furthermore, a lot of these individuals who are on there doing those gender wars or trying to start those gender wars with Black people, they aren't even from the States either. Like this thing revealed quite a bit. And man, listen, the screenshots have been flying. But let me go ahead now and read this article coming from the Daily. Well, it's on MSN, but it's via the Daily Beast. It's an Elon Musk social media site X has rolled out a new feature in an effort to increase transparency and unwittingly revealed that many of the site's top MAGA influencers are actually foreign actors. The new About This Account feature, which became available to X users on Friday, allows others to see where an account is based when they join the platform, how often they've changed their username, and how they downloaded the X app. And by the way, some of them tried to be slick to throw off the scent if they were actually in those particular locations. What it is if you look at the bottom of it, it'll determine whether they created this account or it's based in the States, or it'll say through some kind of an app. That app that they're talking about is a VPN. So basically, they were able to change their origin location of where they created their account to throw off the scent. But even that revealed that to be false as well. Upon the rollout, rival factions began to inspect just where their online adversaries were really based on the combative social platform, with dozens of major MAGA and right-wing influencer accounts revealed to be originating from overseas. This is easily one of the greatest days on this platform, wrote Democratic influencer Harry Sisson. Seeing all of these MAGA accounts get exposed as foreign actors trying to destroy the United States is a complete vindication of Democrats like myself and many on here who have been warning about this. Don't speak too soon because y'all might get exposed as well. I'm just saying. It says dozens of major accounts masquerading as America First or MAGA proponents have been identified as originating in places like Russia, India, and Nigeria. In one example, the account MAGA Nation X, with its nearly 400,000 followers and a bio reading Patriot Voice for We the People, is actually based in Eastern Europe. So as you can see, this is what it looks like. So this is an example of someone's page right here. And if you click joined May 2024, it pulls up the date they joined, account based in Eastern Europe, verified since May 2024, which means they bought the blue check. They've had 5 username changes, and the last change they made was in October, literally like 2 months ago. And it's connected via Eastern Europe. So this person is in Europe right now, tweeting as if they're in the States. Probably never even been here. An Ivanka Trump fan account called Ivanka News has 1 million followers and frequently posts about the dangers of Islam, the threat of illegal immigration, and support for Trump. And that account is based in Nigeria. As you can see, another example right here. They joined September 2010. The account was based in Nigeria. They've been verified since 2024, and their last name change was also in August 2024. So it makes you wonder what their username was when they first joined, because I highly doubt in 2010 Ivanka News was their name, because at the time Obama was still in office. So I highly doubt that this account was by that name at that particular time. They just happened to change it in 2024. That's when they made the change. Someone says this is total Armageddon for the online right, wrote law student and left-wing influencer Michael Irfin, who it's looking like half of their large accounts were foreigners posing as Americans all along. While About This account went live on Friday, X's head of product development, Nikita Beer, noted that the change had a few rough edges, which they are planning to smooth. Information around account location, for example, could be altered with the use of a VPN, like I just mentioned, something Beer has said the company is planning to resolve. Users on X reported the tool being taken down just hours after it went live, with some speculating that the uncovering of the origins of far-right accounts may have something to do with its removal. However, it appears now to have been reinstated at the time of the writing. The user of imposter accounts on social media to manufacture support for an individual or an ideology has long been observed online in America and across the world. Just think about the foreign influence operations that are happening right now on this app. Think about the lawmakers who feel pressured by accounts like this. Think about the disinformation that spreads as a result of all these accounts out here. The use of fake accounts to bolster the MAGA movement is something the Center for Information Resilience, an independent nonprofit research organization, flagged during the 2024 election. With many of the MAGA influencer accounts revealed to originate in Eastern Europe or Russia, users are questioning the ongoing interference in American politics by foreign adversaries. Why are so many MAGA influencers from outside the US? It's almost as if they are working for foreign governments. It says you got to peek behind the curtain at just how much of the MAGA hatred is just Russian propaganda. Donald Trump and several close associates were investigated for conspiracy or coordination between them and Russia during the 2016 election. 2 of Trump's campaign members were indicted. Certain content creators are paid for tweets that drive engagement on the site formerly known as Twitter, which gives them a financial incentive to cash in on the divisive nature of U.S. politics, which we already know. For those in countries like Nigeria or Bangladesh, the American dollars paid by X for their work can be highly lucrative. The Daily Beast has reached out to X for comments. So this is some wild stuff right here. This is some wild stuff right here, but it's not shocking whatsoever. It got exposed, and now is when people talk greasy on these sites, well, on that app, all they're going to do is click on that button to see where it originated at and see if they are from here or if they're from over there. And a lot of the times, they're from over there. And the crazy part about it is that does not make MAGA look good at all, because many of them were eating up what them people were saying and thought they were from here, because they don't vet people. Like KG always says, they don't vet anybody. They just see them say MAGA, throw up the American flag, maybe put Trump in their profile picture, and then they go on about their day and just like give them a pass. They don't check nothing because they need the numbers more than they need the facts. But again, shout out to everybody that's in here so far. Again, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. It's only 34 people in here. I don't know why the count is so low, but it is what it is. We're going to keep it moving, and let's, in the midst of keeping it moving, let's go on to this next story right here, because this is one I really wanted to get to, probably out of all the stories, because this one is in layers. So as everybody knows, Trump is talking about suspending immigration for all of these third world countries. And everyone has gotten really excited about this. But I'm sitting here in the back of my mind that says something doesn't seem right about this. Because I'm thinking about what he said in the past. And when I say the past, I'm not talking about even last year. I'm talking about in the last couple of months when it came to the Chinese individuals, like the ones he was talking about bringing over here, and also the people from South Africa and everything like that. I'm like, did y'all forget when he said that? But I'm gonna work my way up to that. So just follow me here when I'm talking about this. So it says President Trump said late Thursday night that he would suspend immigration from developing nations to the U.S. or third world nations. In a post to Truth Social, Mr. Trump wrote that he will permanently pause migration from all third world countries to allow the U.S. system to fully recover. The declaration follows Wednesday's shooting in downtown Washington, D.C. As y'all know, I talked about that last week or the week before, just blocks from the White House, in which a National Guard member was killed and a second Guard member was critically wounded. And by the way, they actually interviewed Sarah Beckstrom's boyfriend, the one that got killed by the person near the White House, and he basically confirmed what what we already knew, that the National Guard was doing down in DC anyway. He said they're really not doing anything there. They're just there. They're on trash duty. They're not doing much of anything, and that's coming from the boyfriend of the victim that lost her life. But we kind of figured that's what they were doing, because like they had footage of them down there just doing trash duty. It's like, are they National Guard, or you have them down there being sanitation workers? Now you want to deploy 500 more down there to do the same thing? It says the suspect detained in the shooting has been identified as a 29-year-old Afghan national who was admitted to the U.S. in September 2021 with thousands of other Afghan refugees a month after the U.S. withdrew its troops from Afghanistan. Since the shooting, the Trump administration has taken an aggressive stance on U.S. immigration policies. It says are to blame for allowing the suspect into the U.S. and has vowed to change them. But what they leave out is that he got asylum under this administration back in April. So they work, in my opinion, they're working in tandem with each other. Like I did a whole deep dive talking about that. The president did not clarify when such a move might take effect or how the pause would be implemented. He also did not disclose which countries would fall under such a designation. He basically told you, he said the third world. He said the third world or the developing nations. He said CBS News has reached out to the White House for clarification, and piggybacking off of what WIM3 said, they are not trained to deal with that. So it was basically like they were basically sitting ducks regardless. They are not trained to deal with situations like that. is that the president also wrote that he would terminate the status of millions of migrants admitted under former President Joe Biden's administration and remove anyone who is not a net asset to the United States. He said he would end federal benefits and subsidies for non-citizens and deport foreign nationals who are determined to be a security risk and not compatible with Western civilization. Y'all have to pay attention to the dog whistle language. You have to really pay attention to the dog whistle language because it's very telling. It's very telling. It says earlier Thursday, the Trump administration said it would be conducting a full-scale, rigorous re-examination of all green cards for every immigrant from 19 countries of concern. Those countries included Afghanistan, which is where the guy is from, Cuba, Haiti, Iran, Somalia, Libya, Sudan, Yemen, and Venezuela. I wonder what what's his name? I wonder what Amru Fudu got to say about this, because he just mentioned his homeland, but he probably don't care. He said also Thursday, a Department of Homeland Security spokesperson confirmed to CBS News in a statement that the White House is now reviewing all asylum cases approved under the Biden administration. Prior to the shooting on November 21st, the Trump administration in a memo directed U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services to review the cases of all refugees admitted under Biden. The suspect in the shooting, Ramanullah Lakhanwal, immigrated to the U.S. from Afghanistan in September 2021. Paroled on humanitarian grounds, a DHS official told CBS News. His asylum case was granted earlier this year during Mr. Trump's presidency, the DHS official said. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro said Thursday that the suspect lived with his family in Bellingham, Washington, and drove across the country to D.C. prior to the attack. It says Mr. Trump said Thursday that the suspect, who was shot by a National Guard member following the ambush attack, is in serious condition. The CIA also disclosed Thursday that Lakhanwal previously worked with the U.S. government, including the CIA, as a member of a partner force in Kandahar that ended in 2021 following the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. So there you have that right there. So I wanted to go over that part right there because that's going to lead me into this next article that actually I wasn't expecting to come across, but it just came out, I think, in the last couple of days, because this one was posted last week and this one came out just like this week, a couple days ago. Now, really pay attention to this right here. I want y'all to really pay attention to this. Trump administration pauses all immigration applications from 19 non-European countries. What's going on, KG? Let me read that again. Trump administration pauses all immigration applications from 19 non-European countries. Let's see what they're talking about. Immigration applications from 19 countries subjected to a travel ban by the Trump administration earlier this year have been paused indefinitely because of national security concerns. The U.S. government agency that processes visas and green cards has said. A policy member posted on Tuesday to the website of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Part of the Homeland Security Department also places an immediately hold on all asylum applications regardless of a person's nationality and directs a review of aliens from high-risk countries of concern admitted to the U.S. after January 20th, 2021, the first day of the Biden administration. The aggressive new stance by immigration authorities follows the Thanksgiving week shooting in Washington, D.C. of two National Guard members allegedly by an Afghan national who entered the country in September 2021 and was granted asylum by the Trump administration in April 2025. They said it remains committed to ensuring that all aliens from high-risk countries of concern that enter the U.S. do not present threats to national security or public safety. The move expands the travel ban on 12 non-European nations. Key words there, non-European, and partial restrictions on 7 more, implemented by Donald Trump's executive order in June. It affects for the first time those already in the U.S. when the ban went into effect and exposes them to renewed scrutiny, including new interviews. The USCIS said in its Tuesday memo that within 90 days, it will create a prioritized list of immigrants for review and possible referral to immigration enforcement or other law enforcement agencies. In June, Trump fully restricted nationals of Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen from entering the U.S. He issued a partial restriction for Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. Recently, the U.S. has seen what a lack of screening, vetting, and prioritizing expedient adjudications can do to the American people. And it goes on and on and on. Like I said, it's a pretty lengthy article. But when I saw that, I said to myself, non-European countries, 19 non-European countries, third world countries. And then I said to myself, okay, what would be considered second world nations? So I went to Google and I typed this in. What are considered second world countries? It says the term second world originally referred to countries aligned with the Soviet Union during the Cold War, which included communist states in Eastern Europe and other nations like China. Since the collapse of the Soviet Union, the term has largely become obsolete, but in modern usage, it sometimes refers to countries that are economically developing or are in a middle tier between highly developed and very poor nations, such as parts of Latin America, South Africa, and Turkey. So, if y'all still don't understand what's going on, Trump is getting rid of, or he's getting or deporting what he considers to be wasteland individuals or people that come from a wasteland, or as he called it, a shithole nation. But he didn't say that he was ending the immigration altogether. Let me say that again. He said he's ending immigration for third world nations. He did not say I'm ending immigration altogether. So to me, if my hypothesis is correct, and KG's in the chat, hopefully he can back me up on this, he's taking or he's removing one to replace with another. And this right here that I read is who the replacement is going to be. I mean, think about it. It all makes sense. It all makes sense. He's taking out the non-white immigrants and going to replace them with the white immigrants. I remember when he had announced something to that effect a while ago, and I was looking on Twitter, and you had so many of those MAGA folks on there cheering and praising it. Oh, it was the South Africa. It was South Africa. That's what it was. When they said we're going to bring over all these South African refugees, y'all remember that? It's amazing how many people forgot about that. It was just a couple months ago. It was what? Before the summer hit. So that's why I was saying, don't get too excited, because this is what he's about to bring in. He's only pushing out the thing about, oh, let's get rid of the Somalians and, you know, all the Afghans and all of that. Because if you notice, you see how they look too. They're a little bit more darker. I'll put it like that. But this is who he's about to bring in to usher in as their replacement. He never said, I'm ending immigration. He says, I'm cutting off third world immigration. You got to pay attention to the words. And some people, unfortunately, got too excited and did not hear that part. But that's okay, because we're guiding you through this process. I just want y'all to know this, because I don't want y'all to be blindsided when it happens. Oh, there's KG right there. He confirmed it for me. D-Money, that's not all that he's going to bring. Well, that's probably what he said. Well, that's not all he plans to bring. Like I said, if he's getting rid of the third world ones, he's about to bring those second worlders in. But I just wanted to really break that down for y'all, because some people didn't catch it, unfortunately. But maybe they'll catch it now. But I still have to talk about stuff dealing with Trump right quick, because this one right here was very interesting. So as y'all know, they're planning on finally doing Rush Hour 4 after, when did the last one come out? I think 2007. They're finally about to do Rush Hour 4, but for some reason, Trump is the one that's spearheading trying to get this movie released. Shout out to KG for being a member for 44 months. I think KG might be one of my long-standing members as far as like date wise, but shout out to you. He said this is a low-key hit at Bricks. Well, you know what, KG, when I drop the link, I want you to come up and further explain that to me, because I think you explain Bricks better than most people. Like, you have a grasp of it. So if you're still here when I drop the link, I want you to further explain that to me, because I don't want to put out the wrong information. So look at this. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent deflects questions about Trump's push for Rush Hour 4. Now, it says the buddy comedy sequel from Brett Ratner is moving forward with Paramount support. In case y'all don't know, David Ellison is attached to Paramount Plus, or Paramount rather, and he's good friends with Trump. And we all know what type of time David Ellison is on, in case y'all don't know. And that's going to go further into the topic when I get onto the Netflix deal, because that's going to be the last thing I talk about for this live. It says Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was grilled by New York Times Deal book author Andrew Ross Sorkin Wednesday about President Trump's apparent effort to persuade Paramount to greenlight Rush Hour 4, a buddy comedy sequel from director Brett Ratner. Trump reportedly told Larry Ellison about his desire to see the film get made, and Paramount, run by his son David Ellison, has since agreed to distribute it. Sorkin, interviewing Bessent at his annual Deal Book Summit in New York, framed the ask as part of a larger trend of companies with business before the government seeking to placate the president. There is news in the past week that Ellison has greenlit a film called Rush Hour 4 by Brett Ratner because the president effectively suggested or said, "This is one of my favorite films and I want to do this for Brett," Sorkin said. And so now Ellison is doing this, and people look at this and say that the president is trying to push him and they are trying to placate the president. So what does Bessent think of that chatter? Not much, he said, adding that a transaction of that side is irrelevant to how the government operates. The president could have said, "I think it will be a great movie. I have no idea. I wasn't there." Things did get tense, however, with Sorkin pressing Bessent on companies making decisions not necessarily for business reasons, but to help get deals across. Do you think it's appropriate for the president to be asking them to do something like that? Is it appropriate for a company to be doing something on the other end to placate to the president? He says, "I don't know. The Obamas have a contract with Netflix. Is that appropriate?" Bessent replied, with Sorkin noting that they signed that deal after leaving office. These things are very complicated. If you want to start pulling on every thread, then let's start pulling at every thread on where Chuck Schumer's children work. Let's pull the thread on where his staffers work, Bessent said before ripping into the Times, saying that it is no longer the paper of record and that he doesn't read it anymore. It sounds like this Bessent guy he's getting beside himself. He's feeling the heat. He in the hot seat. David Ellison was scheduled to be interviewed at the summit, but had to back out because he is, quote, negotiating as we speak for Warner Brothers Discovery, which, as we all know by now, that did not happen. This article went up before the deal, what happened yesterday. And like I said, we're going to get into it at the end. But yeah, like KG said, he said Trump probably wants a cameo. I wouldn't be surprised, because everything he does is for his own attention. Josh said, "I've been trying to give you a super chat, but my payment isn't working. I appreciate everything you're doing and how you've helped me grow these past few." Oh, no problem. I appreciate it. You know what? I don't know, like, sometimes. Wait, Josh, are you on your phone? If you're on your phone, that's probably why. Because for some reason, I don't know what it is, but super chats doesn't go through on your phone. I know, because I tried to send people super chats before on my phone and it never goes through. Like, it just comes back as an error. So if you're on your phone, that's probably why. But yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on this one, because something about this just seems real red flaggish to me. Like, something just seems kind of off about this when I first heard about it. And shout out to everyone else that just came into the room. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, to hit the like button. I would appreciate it. KG said, "Plus Chris Tucker has been playing right ringer for a few years." Oh, well, see, I didn't know about that. because Chris Tucker hasn't really done like a lot of movies in recent years. I know he's done a couple of stand-up shows and performances and specials, but as far as like movies, he hasn't really done that many in the last couple of years. But let's move on to this next one. I have to actually bring myself stop sharing the screen right quick and bring it back up because a little thing came up, and we got to talk about what happened in Stockton, this shooting that happened. And I heard about this, and this is a tragedy right here. In case y'all don't know, there was a mass shooting that happened out there in Stockton, California, near a two-year-old's birthday party. But let's go ahead now and get into it.
The mass shooting in Stockton. Investigators are still searching for the suspects responsible for Saturday's attack. 4 people died, including 3 children. 13 others were hurt.
Many in the community are now turning to prayer after that mass shooting.
Oh, Father, we don't understand what is going on, but we call on you, Father, right now in Jesus' name, all of us together.
Last night, members of several churches gathered at the site of the shooting. They prayed for the victims, their families, and a neighborhood still reeling from the tragedy. This was not organized by any single church, but by community members who chose to come out, pray, and pay their respects. Many say they felt compelled to come to that shooting location and take a public stand against gun violence in the city.
Rise up and be here and take a stand over the violence and the murder that's taking place in this city, and just show compassion, show them that we care for the city, that we love this city.
We will no longer be desensitized to murder, right? When we see it in the movies, we see it all day, and it's like a normal thing, but it will start breaking our heart and we start falling on our face.
There is a combined $75,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest in this case. The FBI is offering $50,000. You can find their tip page online. Stockton Crime Stoppers is offering $25,000. And here's that phone number. It's 209-946-0600. And your tips can remain anonymous.
2 men who attended that child's birthday party were in court yesterday, but officials say they are not suspects in this case. Luciano Guerrero and Billy Williams appeared in separate courtrooms for parole violations. Guerrero has 2 cases pending. The State Department of Corrections says he was sentenced to 2 years in prison in 2023 for carrying a loaded firearm in public while an active gang member, as well as for evading a peace officer while driving recklessly. His bail was set at $500,000. He'll be back in court next Thursday. Meantime, Williams had an arraignment for violating parole. You may remember KCRA3 spoke to him this week. His sister actually hosted the party the night of the shooting. Sheriff's office says Williams has a criminal history that includes felony injury to a spouse, domestic violence, and cruelty to a child. He's expected to be back in court.
All right, so y'all saw that right there. That is sad. Like near a child's 2-year-old's birthday party, and they said 4 people, 3 of them children, died, and 13 others were injured. That's crazy. And so they got the names of the victims right here. And the 3 children were 2 of them were age 8 and 1 was 14, and the adult was 21. And KG, I saw your comment. I'm not surprised in the least bit, because you know what? Remember, he lied about that. What happened? Remember that one that happened in Vegas? What was it, last year? He tried to say that, you know, he saw a quote unquote black and brown coalition in the car, but he is immediately thrusted into blaming the black kid or the black person for pulling the trigger when it wasn't even him that pulled the damn trigger. So I'm not surprised in the least bit that he tried to do the thing of trying to blame it on us when you can clearly see they got the 2 people that was responsible. But you know how he does. He does it for rage bait, and he does it for clicks and views, but he ain't going to beat them allegations, you know, because that video of him crying over Charlie Kirk, so embarrassing. But I'm not going to go into all of that. But this is sad. It really is. Like, they were just having a birthday party for a 2-year-old, and a whole shootout happens there. And like they say, bullet has no name. And these 2 right here, they obviously didn't care. They was like, it's going to happen whenever, wherever, however. We don't care who's around. And the thing about it is, I bet you they didn't hit not one target that they were looking for. But they caught a whole bunch of strays. 4 dead, 3 of them children, and 13 injured. That's going to be a day that the people there will never forget. I hope they throw the entire library at these two and anyone else that they can catch that was involved. Condolences to those who lost their lives. I mean, to the loved ones of the victims. What's going on, Mansa Musa? Only us. Oh, you know what? I didn't repeat. That was a play on words with your name. You said only us, only us. Okay, I see what you did there. You said, didn't Tatum finally cry racing? He probably did. I'm almost certain he has a few times, as a matter of fact, but that doesn't stop him from tap dancing. That is not stopping him from doing that. He will get up there and he will just straight up lie every chance he gets. Some of his audience will believe it. The others who have some sense, well, first off, if they got some sense, they won't be subscribed to him. But those who do still listen to him, they'll call him out on it. But yeah, that's sad either way. But what's also very interesting is this one right here. Now, this one hits close to home for me, very close to home. So we're going to talk about briefly, and what the hell is this? Hold on, y'all. We're going to briefly talk about this Brian Cole situation. Now, this one hits close to home for me. For those of y'all who don't know, there was this serial pipe bomber that was floating around the DC area for 5 years, since 2020. And yesterday, they finally caught him. Name is Brian Cole. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Fox 5 News Alert, we continue to learn more tonight about this man, Brian Cole Jr. He is the suspect accused of planting pipe bombs outside of the DNC and RNC headquarters back on January 5th, 2021.
That's right. This arrest coming after nearly a
Did y'all hear that?
5-year-long investigation. Sydney Persing live in the suspect's Woodbridge neighborhood tonight. Sydney, you actually got a chance to briefly speak to the suspect's family.
Yeah, and tonight his family made it very clear they do not want to speak with the media. His grandma told me on the phone she has no comment. But neighbors here, they did talk to me. They described Cole as a very quiet guy who kept to himself and was seen here walking his dog alone several times a day. And now for the first time tonight, we have a clear image of his face after federal authorities say he is facing serious crimes. Tonight, after a nearly 5-year-long investigation, the FBI says agents finally identified and arrested this guy.
I'm proud to stand here before you and say, we solved it.
Director Kash Patel announced his agents arrested 30-year-old Brian Cole Jr. at his home in Woodbridge Thursday, accused of planting pipe bombs outside of the DNC and RNC, seen here on this video.
The alleged pipe bomber did terrorize our community.
Cole, investigators claim, planted the 2 viable bombs on January 5th, 2021, just hours before the attack on the Capitol on the 6th. Ring video showed the moment agents descended on his family home.
Very shocked, very surprised.
Neighbors who did not want to be on camera described Cole as a quiet, to himself, non-social young man.
He's walking his dog. He's walking up to 7-Eleven. He's walking around the neighborhood. He's always got headphones on. He's always quiet. Non-confrontational, non-social, really.
Court documents unsealed late Thursday reveal Cole lived with his mom and worked in a bail bondsman's office. Doors were locked at an address listed for Brian Cole bail bonds across from the Fairfax County Courthouse. Investigators said Cole's credit card history revealed purchases of items consistent with bomb-making materials like pipes, a wire stripping tool, and wire nuts. They also say his phone connected to towers near the DNC and RNC that night. Now, of course, there's still so much that we don't know tonight, namely a motive. Federal authorities today also didn't provide a lot of details about how exactly they nailed down Cole as their suspect. They did say that there was no big new tip or new information, but instead that this was a new, renewed effort by the administration looking at already existing evidence. Cole is expected in court tomorrow. Fox 5 will be there, and we'll keep you updated every step of the way of this case.
All right, so let me answer Mansa Musa right quick because he said he's unfamiliar with this story. So basically, you had this guy, his name is Brian Cole, and they put his picture up there. And let me see if I can go back and you can actually see his mugshot. Hold on. Okay. That's his mugshot right there. And on January 5th, the night before January 6th, he went around and he planted pipe bombs at the DNC and the RNC. Now, what's interesting is that this happened hours before what happened on January 6th. So I don't know if they're connected at all. I don't want to say if they are or if they aren't, or it's just coincidence that that happened. But they say he put pipe bombs there. Now, I don't think they exploded or they went off or anything like that. They just happened to find them. But they said the way that they were able to figure out that it was him was because of his shoes. The surveillance on camera picked up his shoes, and then they pulled up an actual image of the shoe he was wearing, and then they matched it. And that's how they were able to find him. But yeah, this happened on January 5th, 2021, and they just caught him like yesterday or like 2 days ago. It was this week when they finally caught him. PD Remain says, you know, they're gonna find a way to. Of course they are. Listen, this is right. This is ripe for the picking, and this is also gonna be why they're gonna say, see, this is why Trump sent the National Guard into DC. I already know. You are preaching to the choir. Manson Musa said he is a J5er who dislikes both parties. Yeah, apparently. He said, I don't F with either one of y'all. Here's my gift to you. Then he said, you think that they're lying? You don't think that this is the guy? Well, see, here's where it got messed up. His purchases. They traced his purchases because he's a credit card or a debit card, and he was buying bomb making materials and also pipes. So that's what did it. If anything, that was probably all they really needed was that right there. Just like when they're looking at people when they get them on I'm just gonna say CP, don't write it in the chat. They can do traces and look up on their computer or their hard drive and see what their search history is. If they can't find any downloads of anything, they'll look through their internet search history and find it that way and see what websites they've been on. What if they've been on any dark web accounts, their login information. They can find all that stuff out. Nini, I understand why you're saying that, because you don't want to believe that a black man did this or tried to do this. Good. Guess what? We didn't want to believe the thing about the DC sniper either. And this is coming from somebody that lives in the area. When we found out who it was, it shocked everybody. I mean, it shocked everybody around the nation because everyone knew or just knew in their mind they had to be white. But when we found out otherwise, that's when it was like, whoa, they actually, like that was one of the most shocking things that year in 2002. But I understand, I get it. Good afternoon, Yanni. Only us says, but they can't find the people who unalive black people hunger. Yeah, because we already know what they're gonna say about that. That they did it to themselves. But yeah, this is we'll say, you know what, Nini, to satisfy you, we will say this is allegedly him. I put it like that. Since they like to do the allegedly thing all the time with themselves, we will say this is allegedly him. Well, let's move on to the next thing. And oh my God, this is so embarrassing. And I have to give a shout out to KG because if it wasn't for him, I would not have seen this. Wait till y'all see this right here. This is the definition right here of awarding yourself when you can't earn it on merit. And these are the same people that love to say that they earn things. So, as we all know, the World Cup is coming up next year. And there are going to be places in the US where, and probably in Canada and Mexico as well, where they're going to have different matches at. Well, apparently Trump was given some type of an award that no one's ever heard of until this time. As a matter of fact, he's the first to get it because they said inaugural award called the FIFA Peace Prize. I want y'all to look at this foolishness right here.
Please welcome the very first winner of the FIFA Peace Prize, the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Please. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this is your prize. This is your Peace Prize. There is also a beautiful medal for you that you can wear everywhere you want to go.
Right now.
Okay, let me hold. Fantastic. Excellent.
Okay. Y'all, if the nation was not already a laughing stock, which it is, it most definitely is now. So they made up a whole award called the FIFA Peace Prize that no one's ever heard of because it's brand new, quote unquote, and gave it to Donald Trump. So he's getting this statue and he's getting this medal. And when the person was like, well, let me do it for you, because usually when you're getting a medal, you aren't traditionally supposed to put the medal on yourself. The person who's giving you the medal is supposed to put the medal on you. He decided to take it upon himself to take the medal out of the box and put it on himself. Now, I got a question for MAGA. I mean, I know y'all in the cult. I know this is your king. This is your leader. This is who you bow down to. I keep telling y'all to get up off of your knees. What the hell is this? And let me be real here. The only reason he's doing this is because he keeps losing the nomination or a chance to be nominated to get the Nobel Peace Prize. He keeps trying to get this Nobel Peace Prize just to say he has something, not earn it. But these are the same people that love to tell us that we need to earn something. We need to get it on merit, DEI and all this, that, and the third. What is this? This is a soccer mom award. This is a participation trophy. This is why he's going around trying to rename all these structures and arenas and all types of stuff after him, because he knows he can't earn it any other way. So he feels like, well, since I can't earn it, let me just go ahead and remove it from saying this and changing it in my image. Exactly, Hurricane Nisi. This is classic narcissistic behavior. This is why, if the world hasn't been laughing at us yet, well, they have been laughing, I would say, more on the low, but they're cackling now. Then, crazy, because when I found the video, it wasn't under this account. It was under another account that was trying to big up this moment and say that this was like a checkmate to the people who do the Nobel Peace Prize. I'm like, checkmate for what? What do you mean checkmate? So now you don't even know how to play chess. This is no different than when he went to the Super Bowl this year saying, I'm the first sitting president to go to the Super Bowl, or when he went to that game when I think it was the Commanders played the Lions, and he was up there and the people booed him there, and now he's giving himself awards. Y'all, we aren't even, we still haven't made it a whole year yet. Like I said, this was embarrassing. The only people that felt this was good was him and that cult. But let me now move on to the last story, and I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, and that is Netflix winning the bidding war to purchase Warner Brothers for $82.7 billion. I think what's very interesting about this is that Netflix is a streaming platform. It's not a movie studio, at least not yet, because I have a feeling Netflix will become a movie studio in due time. And they were able to purchase a whole production studio from people or outbid people who are movie studios or production studios. I said, I know somewhere that the people over at Blockbuster, that Relic, is punching the air like Trey from Boys in the Hood right about now. Because imagine if they would have took that deal with Netflix way back in the day, Blockbuster could have been in on this. Now, let me also preface this before I go any further and go into this article. Yes, Netflix has bought Warner Brothers, but the change is not happening overnight. I was looking at a commentator who was talking about this at length last night. So while they've already made the deal and they've made the purchase, a lot of the changes won't start to take effect until probably a year from now. So HBO Max is still going to be used. Nothing's going to change yet. I think a lot of people are worried if HBO and Max is still going to be a thing with this, but that's now really up to Netflix whether or not they're going to let them stay their own separate entity while they own them, or if they're going to grandfather them in it and do a complete merge with Netflix. So let's see what they're talking about in this article. It says, it's official. In a move that will dramatically reshape the entertainment business, Netflix and Warner Brothers Discovery announced an agreement Friday under which Netflix will acquire Warner Brothers, including its film and TV studios, its gaming business, HBO Max, and HBO. The deal has a total enterprise value, including debt, of approximately $82.7 billion, with an equity value of $72 billion, the company said. The announcement of Netflix's deal to buy the Warner Brothers streaming and studios business came after a weeks-long bidding war that pitted the streaming giant against David Ellison, who I mentioned earlier, Paramount, Skydance, and Comcast. And really what it was is they wanted to make sure it did not get in the hands of Paramount and Skydance. They really didn't want it there because they already knew what they would have turned Warner Brothers into. Basically, Warner Brothers would have been Fox News in movie form, movie and television form. That's what they would have. That's most likely what it would have turned into. It says news broke Thursday evening that Netflix had entered into exclusive negotiations with WBD, or Warner Brothers Discovery, on a deal for Warner Brothers and HBO Max. I know some of you are surprised that we are making this acquisition, Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos said on a call with analysts Friday, noting the company historically has been more builders than buyers. Netflix said it expects to maintain Warner Brothers' current operations and build on its strength, including theatrical releases for films. Currently, Warner Brothers has deals to release its films in cinemas through 2029. In the near term, Netflix signaled it would keep HBO Max as a discrete service, while it also touted the addition of HBO and HBO Max content to its lineup. Basically, Netflix subscriptions are about to go through the freaking roof in due time. It's about to get real expensive. By adding the deep film and TV libraries in HBO and HBO Max programming, Netflix members will have even more high-quality titles from which to choose, the company said. This also allows Netflix to optimize its plans for consumers, enhancing viewing options and expanding access to content. Netflix said it expects to see $2 billion to $3 billion in cost savings annually by the third year after the deal closes. The company expects the transaction to be accretive to earnings per share by year 2. And it goes on to some other things and some things as well. It's a lengthy article. It's a very long article. I'll leave the article in the chat if y'all want to read the rest of it. But basically, Netflix got it. It's still some deals and stuff they got to ink out. You know, the ink hasn't completely dried yet. It's just like the signature is there. But Netflix got it. They just wanted to make sure that Paramount didn't get it. But yeah, it's going to be expensive. That price hike is going to be something. And remember, at one time you was able to share your password with people. They remember they got rid of that. They definitely not bringing that back. Not after they got this. Hurricane says, I dropped Hulu for price hike recently. I'll drop Netflix too with an increased price hike. Basically, at this point, it's like doing cable all over again. That to me is what it feels like. It feels like they're doing cable all over again. At this point, you're going to go back to getting what DirecTV, Fios, or any other cable provider if they keep going this route. But that is all the stories that I have. So what I'm going to do now, of course, is I'm dropping the link in the chat and I'm allowing you to come up and speak. I have the timer ready, so be ready for that. I know Wallow J's in the chat. He's going to enjoy this. And speaking of Wallow, what's going on?
Now, what did you say about me before I even came up, Tori? I was coming through
I said I'm turning the timer on. I said I'm turning the timer on, which I know if you were still in the chat, you're going to enjoy.
Oh, I will. But first off, I would like to send my condolences out to them young folks out there in Stockton, man. That really hurt my soul, especially when that dad kind of described what happened to his son. I'm not gonna say it because it pissed me off. That really pissed me off when that dad described what was going on with his son. Anybody that's been talking about that story on New Black Media, I just don't click on it because I don't want to just read that story. But my condolences out to them family. But with this immigration talk, I'll let KG talk about the Netflix because I want to see his info on that. But with Trump with his immigration thing, basically what they're doing is what they always wanted to do with immigration is they've always wanted white immigrants over here. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all they really wanted. Like, with the Italians, the Germans, so far and so forth. So now he's telling all you Somalians, all you South American people, like, we don't want you here. It's too many of y'all coming over here, and we know when y'all get y'all numbers up, y'all just not going to attack black people. We worrying about y'all attacking us. That's their main issue. They can give a damn about us. They care about themselves because when Biden had the immigrants flooding over here, they were mainly attacking white people. And I think a lot of y'all some people probably forgot that. Like, wait a minute, what if the Somalians get their number up? What if the Haitians? It ain't just the black people they go after. They know they're gonna come after them because they got the money. So why would they sit there and let them take over? Like when they go online and say, "Oh, we about to take over America." You don't think them white folks ain't listening to y'all what y'all saying? And it's funny how the Somalians get mad at us, but they're not mad at Trump. I just want everybody to understand that they get mad at us. I saw some videos Miss Lisa did when they was claiming they was upset at us, but they're not going back at Trump.
Yep. Y'all take note of this. The person that loves the buzzer so much got buzzed today. This is a historical moment. I don't think I think that happened before, but it's been a while. Wallow got the buzzer. I put the link in the chat if anybody would like to come up. KG, I don't know if you're still in the chat or not. I really wanted you to come up because I wanted you to explain the BRICS thing. Oh, he's still there. But if you can you come up? I really want you to explain that to me because I'm curious with what you said earlier. All right. Scoop, what's going on?
Salute, Torian. Salute to everybody in the chat. I guess I'm gonna sneak me a few minutes in here while at work. Yeah, I'm with Wallow with that, man. I can't believe everybody. Well, no, I can't believe. Every time I turn around, everybody mad at us. It's always us, always us. They always finger pointing. Man, we got enough immigrants. That's enough. We done had more than enough. We had more of our share of enough because what they do, they come over here and then they mock us, they point at us and they say, well, basically y'all are from here. How come y'all don't have this? How come y'all don't have it? Because they don't sabotage us like y'all like they do us. At least come and learn some history. You want to come to the land. You want to come over here, but don't act like you got any common sense of what we struggled for. Not realizing y'all wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for us. But they don't want to give us our props or our credit. But you want to talk bad about us? Man, now when they getting y'all up out of here, don't turn and talk about but black people this and black people that and how come black people don't care. I notice all these groups do that. The minute they butt is getting focused on, they think we supposed to come to aid and we done throwing on them capes, man. Y'all handle y'all own and leave us out of it. And I'm gonna land it there, Torian.
Appreciate you coming up. Shout out to Scoop for coming up. All right, next up we got Jonathan. What's going on?
What's up, man? Right on schedule. Yeah. So, the whole thing, that story about the guy getting stuff, and not earning it, it just remind me of the how Trump hired these people with no experience, but they claim they somehow, work hard to get what they can. But the only thing they get into these high positions because of their privilege. They got the complexion for the protection. They got the right skin for it, not because they work hard. They'll tell you that they earned it, but it's like that guy said, yeah, you know, like old dude said, we never the ones that earn it. That earn stuff. We always the ones that are the worst. The immigrants don't like us. We're always the most hated ones. But as soon as the next race becomes hated, they come to us for aid and all. I, I was like, man, if only we moved to Africa and just leave everybody over there in America so they can see how it is, man. The magic that's going to do its work will be crazy. And I don't want to hear nothing about, we need black people to save us. We need these pro blacks out here, man, because they've been trying to warn us this whole time. No, time's up. Major bay late in the damage is done. That's all I have to say. So, thank you for getting me on here. I ain't have much to say to it because I'm ready to get my workout in. Oh.
All right, appreciate you coming up. Well, Walla, you got your wish. If Jonathan would have ended just a little bit sooner, you would have just missed it. All right, so I'm about to bring KG up here because I really want him to explain this to me because that line that you put in the chat intrigued me, and I know you. This is your area of expertise.
Trump's an idiot. He's gonna learn very quickly that he don't run shit. But when I mentioned BRICS, a lot of Latin American countries are running over there, and South Africa's already in there, and Turkey's also aligned with BRICS because they're a Muslim country, and they have influence in the Middle East. This man, I know what he's doing with the third world countries. He's trying to force them to come do business with us. And it's not working because BRICS has way more influence than he has right now because a lot of those third world countries are aligned with the Middle East and Asia. So I don't know if he thinks this is going to work, but bless his heart. He's only going to be left with the first world countries who are going to be sitting there playing with BRICS as well. So 2026 is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, because when I saw that line and I saw he said that he's deporting people who are back to their third world countries. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, wait a minute, only the third worlders, nobody else, like just them. So that's why I said, oh, please. I was trying to say to them, I didn't say it then. That's why because I was waiting for today to talk about it. I said, people don't get too excited. He's getting rid of some. I would even argue he's not even getting rid of all of them. He's going to keep some of them here, but he really wants to bring in an overwhelmingly amount of the people that I showed as far as that second world group goes.
Yeah, he's trying to vice grip Mexico into doing business with him because he's trying to get out of the USMCA right now. But it ain't gonna work.
When do you think that all of this is going to like expose itself, where people are gonna see it? Like it's almost like you can't avoid it.
Well, it's happening now. They're having a little debate about it now, but probably in the springtime.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's after the fiscal year 2027 starts.
Okay.
And yeah, it's gonna be fun. I release those numbers because he already lost 32,000 jobs in the private sector, so that's gonna probably be revised up in February. So release those numbers. So that's it.
All right, I appreciate you coming on. I just wanted you to explain that to me because I know you really know how to break this down. I'm still learning, but I didn't want to like put anything out there that I didn't really know too much about. So that's why I said if you were still here, I'm glad you could further explain it.
United States of Asia.
This is about to get very interesting. What was that?
United States of Asia.
Oh yeah, before you go, I saw what that post Laura Looney made. I'm like, this chick, I'm like, you still don't understand the plot. I mean, honestly, she probably never had to begin with. I'm like, you still don't get it.
She'll defect next year, and then she'll go on an unhinged rant, and they'll love her for her unhinged rant. So, oh, by the way, Valentina took a shot at Trump. I got to cover that.
Yeah, I saw the live you did yesterday when she was on. Who's that? Piers Morgan.
Yeah. She's hiding comments because they were cooking her.
Good.
Yeah.
But shout out to KG for coming up and explaining that. I really wanted like more further explanation with that comment because that comment really like sent my antennas up. But yeah, Peter May said the Anglo-Asia. The crazy part about it is I'm chuckling about it now, but that could actually become a reality, and that's the scary part. But anyway, y'all, I think KG was the last person to come up and speak today. So shout out to everyone that did come up and speak. Again, if y'all are a member of the channel, I have a members only video that's going to be dropping at 5 p.m. today. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Also, tomorrow is True Crime Sunday, and it's going to be on Enron, the Enron scandal. I'm sure many of us in here remember that. I was young when it happened. I was like maybe 11 because I think it happened in 2000 or somewhere around that time. But tomorrow's True Crime Sunday will be on Enron. I'm gonna go ahead and set that up after this live is over and hope that all of you can attend. But with that being said, we are about to get up out of here. Shout out to KG for being a member for 44 months. I appreciate it. Shout out to everyone in the chat, all the members, all the mods, everybody over on Patreon. I greatly appreciate you. Again, tomorrow's True Crime Sunday at 11:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to be in tune for that. That's the pre-show. The live will occur on Rumble at 11:55 p.m. With that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Be safe, stay warm, but most importantly, be one.